Greetings everyone, this is P. So today I'm gonna show you how to do some more advanced things on our tutorial map. So I have our map over here from the previous tutorial. It's all ready to go. So the two things I'm gonna show you today are, first, how to give the player some weapons, any weapon from the game you want. And the second thing will be how to make a simple mission briefing intro screen, which will display some mission info on screen before the mission is initialized. Alright, so we need some scripting for that. This is our maps script from the previous video, which is the very basic script single player maps need so they can run in game. So the first thing I'm gonna do is to copy this code I have over here, so we'll have to type everything up again. Alright, so we have to call this function right after this line from the main function, like this. Okay, so right now this function will be called over here and it will do all the things we tell it to do over here. First, it will take any weapons the player have during the mission initialization. Call of Duty 4 gives player an MP5 on custom maps by default, and if we don't want that, we can simply remove it with this line. Then I'm freezing the player so he can't move. I will explain why I do that later. And then I will give the player some other hands than the ones given to him by default. Then I'm gonna give the player a new weapon, any weapon from the game I want. Then I'm gonna give ammo for the same weapon. And then I'm gonna make the player switch to the weapon we gave him before. After that, I disable his weapons. I will explain why I do this later again. Alright, so let's go and give the player some new hands. In order to give the player some hands, we will first have to find the model name, the view hand model name, and put the name over here. The game will do the rest. Okay, the model name will be right here in Call of Duty 4 raw and X model. In this case I will pick the SAS black kit view hands. I copy the name, paste it over here, and that's all. Now let's go and give the player some weapons. In this case I will give the player the silenced MP5, and what we need to do now is to write the weapon file name over here. Every weapon in Call of Duty 4 is over here in Call of Duty 4 raw, weapons, SP, and then we will go MP5 silencer, not reflex, just silencer, should be there. Paste it over here. Alright, that should do it. So this way we are giving the player the MP5 silencer and some new cool view hands. Next step, we are gonna make this mission briefing intro screen, so we can display some info on screen before the mission is started. Now I will copy this code I have over here and paste it over here, and this will do mostly all we need. But first we need to define some text, some info that we need over here. We can't simply write down the title or the player character name or location over here. We will have to create a localized strings file for our map. Localized string files contain various texts that can be used in the map for different purposes, like objectives or hints or subtitles or whatever. Now we need to create our file in this location, in Call of Duty 4 raw English localized strings. What I'm gonna do is to create a new text file and name it exactly as our map's name, which is test video 1. and then I'm gonna change the extension to str. Alright, that's all we need for now. And in here we'll have to have this, which will be all we need. Now, as you can see, I have a title for our map, a very crappy title for our tutorial. Then I have the player name, the player character or whatever. Then I have the date, which in this case is day 1337. Then we have the location of our mission, and then we have the team, the faction of our player. So in order to make those texts to go on those lines, we will have to put the name of the reference of each text over here on each line, but first we will have to put the name of our map here, which is test video 1, then underscore, and then the line, the reference name or whatever. Copying this all over, changing the numbers, so it's intro 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They all have to be capitals over here, otherwise it may not work. Let's see what we have so far. Oh yes, of course, we need to call this function over here right after the player setup function. So let's see what we have so far. We take all the weapons that the game gives to the player by default. We freeze the player so he can't move. Then we set some new hands for the player. We give the weapon MP5. We give ammo. We switch to weapon MP5, and then we disable weapons. Now, right after this, we initialize the intro screen. Let's ignore all that and let's focus on those two lines. This line will display the text we have over here on the bottom left side of the screen, and this line will make the screen go dark right when the mission is starting. After that, we will unfreeze player so he can move around, and we will enable weapons to the player so he can use his weapons. We don't want the player to use his weapons and move during this intro screen. That's why we disable weapons and freeze controls of the player during this intro screen sequence. Okay, so let's see what we did so far. We won't need to compile our map again because we didn't do any changes in the 3D of our map. And we're gonna jump straight into the compiler. Since we only did script changes, we will just build the fast file. Alright. I'm gonna enable developer, just in case. And then I'm gonna run map. Let's do a test. Now I will expect some errors. Yes, the MP5 and the guns are not loaded in our zone file. I explained this in the previous video. I'm just gonna copy and paste everything as shown in the previous tutorial. Save, okay, rebuild fast file, and let's go for it. There we have it. Alright, apparently I need some more time on the black fade. But as you can see, I have the new hands we put on the player and the weapon, the MP5, as you can see. Alright, that's all for this part. Thanks for watching. Excuse my awkward performance or accent. Thanks for watching again. See you next time. Spee out.